Hey guys, it's Kazor, and I want to do something different this week. I saw a video by Rage Gaming Videos the other day, and it was about ranking every single monster, about how they feel about its monster, and I don't know whether it's weak, strong, fun fight, annoying, and all that. And after discussing this with a couple of friends, I've noticed that a lot of people have such a different take when it comes to monsters and like fighting them. For some monsters are easy and just plain fun. Some others it just doesn't work this way. And I'm different than other people. Everybody's different, So I wanted to just post a video on my takes about every single monster in this game. And yeah, we have this tier maker list here. We have all the monsters up until title update 1, I'm sorry. And we're gonna rank every single monster. I kind of sorted them with size, kind of, I guess. Of course, I put the Leviathans together, Rathaloses together. We will discuss these a little later on, even if Rathalos has been in the game for a while now, but Silver Rathalos is the new monster with the title update. So yeah, let's get started with the tier list. At the beginning of the list, I have Great Izuchi. So Great Izuchi is one of the 4 little chicken-looking monsters that we're fighting. Is definitely better than the other 3. Great Izuchi it's not a hard fight. It's not an easy one either. Once you start playing the game, you will see it does plenty of new fun mechanics. It also has these 2 Izuchis that always come close to it, and they fight together, and that I find really fun. Izuchi is a very fun fight. It's not very hard, but it's a fun fight. I will place him on C for now. Actually, yes, C. It's quite interesting, quite fun. As for the other 3 chickens, honestly, they don't have anything to bring to the table compared to the Izuchi. Rogi, Bagi, and Kuluyaku are just, whatever. Izuchi can teach you how to play the game, kind of. It has plenty of interesting mechanics. You have to pay careful when it jumps to you, when it jumps from the walls, stuff like this. It can be pretty fun. Rogi can teach you about poison, because its poison really adds up, so it really can teach new hunters, how to deal with poison, which I think is quite interesting in itself. And then you have Bagi that just puts you to sleep. You can't really get carded by falling asleep. It's very hard if you keep your HP healthy, if you keep yourself healthy. So it's not really that big of a deal to deal with Bagi, even as a new hunter. I'm gonna have Rogi first, Bagi second from these 3, and Kuluyaku last, because Kuluyaku is just Kuluyaku, It's a fun fight, but it's nothing. Lagombi and Volvidon. I'm not even gonna discuss this. These monsters are horrible. Horrible. I don't know who made them. Sorry, Capcom. I hate the design of these monsters. They run around all the time. They never stop. They trip you. They throw you just walk past you and they just throw you off. They don't just stand still as much. So you have to chase them in order to hit them, but they keep running and running. Their kits are annoying. It's just, if I could delete these 2 from the game, I would definitely delete these from the game. I despise them. Horrible fights, horrible monsters. If somebody likes them, I'm sorry, you're a psychopath. Next, we have Great Ludroth. So Great Ludroth is a quite fun monster. Again, as a fight, it is whatever. Can it be hard? Kinda. For a new player, yeah, maybe. It can deal quite a lot of damage in the early game, I guess. Nothing too crazy. Never struggled with this monster. I haven't fought him too many times because I find it a little pointless. It's an early stage monster. Its armors don't do a lot of good. I like the design and everything. It's just, whatever. I'm gonna place him on C and above the chickens. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Izuchi to B, because this fight can be interesting, much more interesting than these little guys here. So Tobikadachi was very good since World. It has always been quite a challenge, honestly. It has pretty good mechanics. It's one of these small, wyvern-like type of monsters that are actually interesting to play against. Plus, it conducts electricity, and I think that it's badass. Every monster that conducts electricity, except for this penis-looking thing, is quite fun. So Kadachi is a fun fight. I would fight Kadachi, no problem. I wouldn't be bored if I was fighting 100 of them. So I would just place him, I think, maybe A tier. Or maybe first on the B tier list, because it's just fun to play against, you know? It's definitely more fun than Izuchi. So let's place him on A for now and we'll see. Georatodus, I think they did him quite good with Sunbreak. Georatodus was annoying in world. He still is. He swims around a lot, you know. He's quite annoying to fight. He has this mud that protects him and stuff. Quite interesting design. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's a pretty nice monster, honestly. It's just annoying to fight against, you know? Not my favorite. And I know a lot of people hate these types of monsters, like Piscine, I don't know how to call it, Piscine monsters. I don't hate him. I don't love him either. I'm gonna place him on, I think it's gonna be... It's more interactive than these four, so I'm gonna place him on B, but way below the rest of the things I'm gonna place on this list. Pookie, same thing. I don't think he brings anything to the table. We fought him in World many times. We know its mechanics. Nothing really changed. Maybe some things. Again, it's good to get taught about how dangerous poison can be. But we have Rogi for that. And Pookie is like a similar type of thingy. It's just a wyvern. Is the fight fun? A little bit. I think it's funny because it looks funny, I guess. I like how its tail gets like thick, and when it's eating these mushrooms or whatever it's eating, you know, it becomes like, excuse me, it becomes like a small frog type of thing. Like it grows its mouth grows and then it throws more poison and stuff like this. Quite interesting design. I don't think it's horrible. I think I'm gonna place him in B with Georatodus and Izuchi. And sorry for not talking about all this too much, but I made a video talking about all of them quite in depth because I got carried away, and that took me 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now nobody would watch that video, and okay, some of us might, but I got so tired at the end of it, you know? I was speaking for so long that at the end I just was like, so I'm trying to keep this relatively short and maybe like, yeah, stick to the point. So Ketsu has been, I have been playing against Ketsu since the first Monster Hunter game in PlayStation 2. His design hasn't changed, but he has plenty of new moves. The one where it just goes like this and spits electricity into the air, and the electricity just falls from the sky. I think this is a cool move that they added to him. I really didn't want him to be boring because it's a pretty interesting concept, and I have never fought Giginox, mind you. So I don't know what a better Ketsu looks like. Ketsu's quite interesting, nothing too crazy. He's definitely like a B, because he's better than these four. But you know, Aknosom now Aknosom is boring. Like, it's very boring. And it's easy as hell as well. The design is beautiful, I think it looks very nice. Japanese themed, quite like umbrella-like type of wyvern monster, call it whatever you wish. I don't really know about the spitting of fire, balls dropping in the ground, not hitting you type of move. I don't like the move where it goes like, just goes like a snake and just hits you and throws you off. I think it's a little ridiculous. It's one of these monsters that help people get into the game, you know? So like, it gets boring quite fast even for them. And for us to have played the game in the past, it's just whatever. It's just a whatever. I'm gonna place him above Ludroth, I think. Now Tetranodon. Tetranodon is a pretty fun monster. He gives similar vibes to Zamtrios. By the way, I don't think we're gonna see Zamtrios in this game, just because Tetranodon is just the same thing. They work very similarly. You know, they eat, they become very bloated, then they use the bloatedness to cause tremors and deal more damage in a bigger area of effect. I like Tetranodon. I think it's an interesting monster. I think it's very nice. And yeah, but besides that, it's not really hard, you know? Has pretty good weak points. You don't need to have a strategy to fight him. You just need to be a little careful. You will barely die against a Tetranodon, maybe a couple of times in the early game. I'm gonna put him above Izuchi, because he deserves a B, but nothing higher than that, never. No, Baroth. Baroth is a fun monster as well. It's easy, of course, and I was disappointed that even with Master Rank, the choo-choo move that it does, and it rushes straight towards you, that move doesn't track you. So if you dodge, you know, he will just go and continue going straight ahead like a train. That makes some sense since the move is very fast. Like it has this channeling where it sits still in place and then it quickly like runs forward. And I think if it was tracking you as well, that would have been problematic maybe. So I don't know. I'm not a game dev. But yeah, Baroth is a pretty interesting monster. I like the concept that you can hit him in his tail and his hands or whatever, but his head is like very, very, very tough and thick. But you can actually break it, which is very cool. So yeah, I really think it's a little stupid that your hunter is warning you to be careful when it just shakes and tries to throw mud on the ground, and your hunter is screaming, "Oh, be careful!" when it's just doing nothing there, you know? That's a little funny. I'm gonna place Baroth on B, and I think I'm gonna place him below Izuchi, because there's nothing too crazy about him. We fought him in World as well. Now Arzuros. Fun thing about Arzuros, if you compare him to the other small type monsters, like, I don't know, or the other Fanged beasts, sorry, like Gosharag or whatever, I used to hate this monster, really. I used to not like him at all, but like, I really think it's a cool design. I really think it's a cool monster. It can be very fast, it has great reach, its moves are quite nice, it sticks to you, it doesn't run away like them Bolvidon or Blagombi, and it can pack a punch. Arzuros is like one of the best, I think, especially Apex Arzuros, one of the best early game monsters for a lot of people. It's quite cool as a Fanged beast. Okay, so I'm gonna place Arzuros on B, and I'm thinking I'm gonna place him above everything, and above him is gonna be the Apex one. Actually, I'm gonna put Apex Arzuros on A, just because it can really, really pack a punch. This is an interesting monster, for real. I like this monster. Moving on to Besaten. So, sorry to Besaten lovers out there, I hate this monster. I despise it. The way it moves is ridiculous. Its moves are ridiculous. It's just a pain in the ass. And I hate monsters that run around. And he does that all the time. I really don't want to fight him. Like almost, you know, never. Whenever I have an armor or a weapon that requires me to go get some Besaten pieces, I get annoyed because I have to fight this idiotic clown for like the next 10-15 minutes. I'm kind of getting used to him now though, but still I don't like him. I'm gonna place him on C just because I really don't like him. I'm gonna place him above the chickens though. And as for the new Besaten, it's of course much better. It deserves a B 100%. But it's so annoying still, even worse than this one. But at least it doesn't run as much. You know, it tries to... I think the move that it claps the pines and then smacks them on the ground, this elbow of his just manages to hit you at all times, then it drags you along and it throws you on the ground. It's super annoying to play around. I really don't I really don't like fighting him. So let's move to Somnakanth. Somnakanth is a quite interesting monster as a design, but the fight, whatever. It really is nothing. Everybody knew that he's gonna do a flashbang when he started banging on its chest. Even though we had never fought him before. That's what I felt at least. The design is nice, it's a beautiful monster, I really like the idea behind it, it's just whatever though. So I'm gonna place him on C. He's a boring monster, he does nothing, it just swims, does nothing. Aurora Somnakanth on the other hand is a fantastic fight. Super annoying, I try to avoid fighting this at all times, like I think I cart a lot when I fight this monster. Horrible against me, because I suck fighting it. I suck at fighting it, but he deserves a better position than this. I think it's an A fight, although I'm really bad against Aurora Somnakanth. I really cart against this monster. But it deserves an A, because it's a fun fight. Now Gosharag. Gosharag is an interesting concept, you know? It looks like a snow oni, has this cool demeanor, has these ice blades. I mean, it's edgy all around. It is very hard at first, and it hits harder when you reach high rank, then it hits harder... Sorry, it hits harder when you reach master rank. But still, this monster is... I think we need a variant of this monster. We need something fresh. Because we've had him since Base Rise, since the early quests, and nothing has changed much, you know? He has been a little... He has some new moves and stuff, but they're not too many, and I also... The Frosted Lance, it doesn't have its own soundtrack, it's just... I got tired of fighting him very fast. I'm gonna put him on a B, because he deserves to be there, but... It's whatever. He's going above everything, actually. He's a quite cool monster. I just don't like him anymore. So Barioth, same thing. We've seen him in the past. Cool monster. Like, it's a cool monster. It is what it is. Throws ice beams, does all these spins. But it doesn't really... It's not really dangerous, you know? If it's moved that it jumps into the air, if that was targeting you, no matter where you were, and just jumped like in a huge distance, that would have made the fight a little more fun. But I've noticed that it has a range, like a range cap, which is quite small too. So yeah, sadly, Barioth for me is still quite boring. He's not that hard. He's gonna have the same treatment as Gosharag, and I'm gonna place him on B. Tigrex, Tigrex, whatever you wanna call him. I call him Tigrex. It's a nice monster. He's cool. You can practice when fighting him and stuff. I just hate him. I hate monsters that have moves that try to trample over you, you know? Like every monster that has its main mechanic is to trample you over, like you're some sort of, I don't know, toddler in the middle of a bison herd passing by. I don't dig that. I don't like that. He's not horrible, I just don't like being trampled over, and he can really piss me off. It's one of the monsters that if I'm fighting him, and I get like thrown left and right, I can get pissed, which is very, it's not easy for me to get pissed in this game, but Tigrex can do the job quite effectively. I'm gonna give him a B, and I'm gonna place him below Gosharag actually, because he's still a cool monster. I think his design is nice, his moves are nice, the fact that the roar damages you is cool, but yeah, nah. Kadaki. So the normal Kadaki, I would place on C, yeah? But now I'm gonna have to do a D on him. Two reasons. One, with the addition of Master Rank, we have this new move where it throws the spiderlings and they throw fire at you, right? I hate that move. It is ridiculous. I cannot dodge that move. It is instant almost. Like it throws the spiders and they immediately throw fire and then it comes to me. I don't see the point. Of course, it's to make it harder for Master Rank, but that is actually like, for me, it's impossible to avoid. I have to be like super proactive when the spiders are mid-air, and I always forget about this new move. I still suck at this monster, of course. That's the problem, that I suck at it, you know? If I fought it like maybe 10-20 times, I would enjoy fighting it, but I just refuse to, because I just don't like it. The design is cool. I quite like spiders in this game, like Nerscylla and stuff. I just don't like Kadaki. The new Kadaki, however, is a little more interesting, a little more fun. It deserves a B, and I think on the top of the list as well. Quite cool fight, quite aggressive, nice new ultimate move. I just don't really like the spiders as much, you know? Not my favorite type of monsters to fight. Moving on to the crabs. So the crabs are actually one of my favorite, one of my favorite like monster types. They're very cool. The design is very cool, and they're very unique, you know? The way they move, the way they fight, the way they attack you, it's just something you never see from other monsters. Not from Pisons, not from all of these are so much different than the crabs, you know? They bring something new to the table. Very good choice to put the Daemio Hermidor as the first monster to fight before Master Rank. I think that made players excited to fight something new and different, especially players who started with World and have never fought crabs before. I'm gonna do this crab an A. I really like Krabby. I think it's really cool. And this new move that it just jumps and punches the ground, like, it's badass. Come on, this is a cool crab. As for the blue crab, Shogun Senator, this gets an S+. No kidding, guys. Shogun is the best crab I've ever fought. I haven't fought that many crabs. I think only these two, but it's just one of the best fights I've had. It makes you bleed. This sharpening its claws thing and jumping is just, holy shit. It feels like a threat, you know? It feels like an actual threat. This monster means business. It can cut you. Like, the fact that it makes you bleed and it moves so fast and you have to crouch to get rid of the bleed, but you can't really crouch against it because it's gonna rip you to pieces. Very, very well designed. Really love the concept. I hope we see more interesting things like this in the future. I really love this crab. Now Basarios. Basarios is an interesting monster. People don't like him because, you know, your legs bounce and everything. I think he's okay. I like the mechanic where he just gets heated up in some parts of his body and you can hit him at these locations. Back in the first Monster Hunter game, when I first fought him, there were no such locations. You had to hit him all the time in his belly. That was his only weak spot. Really wasn't, but kind of was. And then after half of its HP, I think the belly would break and you would see the inside of his stomach. And then if you kept attacking there, of course, it would die eventually. But no other part could be attacked. It was very annoying. I fight him with gun lances all the time, because gun lance, you know, the explosions don't care about hard points. So when you're fighting Basarios, same with the crabs by the way, when you want to attack their shells and break their backs, gun lance is a very good weapon. So since I learned how to play the gun lance quite effectively, I don't mind Basarios all that much. And especially with Master Rank, this new move it has that it goes like all the way 30, 60 degrees around. That is a hard to dodge move and it is very fun. I really like it. My only problem with it is if you're playing Lance or Gun Lance and you block the first frame of his whole spin, the rest of the spin is not gonna touch you. So Basarios will keep spinning around for the next second or two, and just because you blocked the first time it was about to connect, you don't get damage throughout the whole animation. That gives you a lot of time to attack him. I'm gonna give him a B, and I'm actually gonna place him above everything, but no, actually, you know, just below Tigrex. He's an interesting monster. I quite like him. Now Anjanath. Anjanath is a very cool monster. Come on, it's a T-Rex. It looks cooler than Devijo. I love Devijo, don't get me wrong, but it's just a giant pickle, right? It looks weird, it's green and all. This is a dinosaur. This is a proper T-Rex, you know? It even has wings when it gets angry. It grows these little bone thingies like on its nose, the snout. It throws fire beams. I really like Anjanath. He's such a brutal creature. Very fun fight. I'm gonna give him an A and I'm gonna place him above everything else, just because I really like him. Now moving on to Diablos. I've been fighting Diablos for years, you know, since the first Monster Hunter game. He was there. The concept hasn't changed too much. He's quite simple to fight. I fought him so many times, so many times that I can't really see it as a threat anymore. Same with the Apex version. I don't know why people struggle with this. It's just a Diablos on steroids. It doesn't change anything. Diablos is a cool monster, same like the others. He's gonna take a B. He's not horrible. Apex Diablos is better, of course, maybe better than the rest here, but still, it's a Diablos, you know, nothing too crazy. Now Mizutsune. Mizutsune is a very interesting Leviathan. I really like her, or his, the way it attacks, the way it moves, the bubble mechanic, the music. It's a very lovely design, very good monster. I liked it since Generations. Although my favorite one was Glavenus, because he's just Anjanath but cooler, you know? Yeah, Mizutsune is a very cool monster. I really like the fight. I think it's unique. Everything is great about this monster. It's going to go above Kadaki even. Very cool. And the Apex Mizutsune is going to come to A, because I think it's a more fun fight, because it becomes more aggressive and it doesn't leave you as many openings as the regular one. And it's quite fun, actually. I like fighting Mizutsune. As for Almudron though, I don't. Almudron is an amazing design. It looks very cool. It's a nice monster. I really appreciate the thought behind this monster, like trying to spook you with attacking you with random parts of its body. And I know I've been asking for unique fights, like the crabs, and I should appreciate Almudron more, but I really don't. I hate him. I don't want to fight him. Every time I fight him, I really don't understand what he does. No matter how many times I fight him, it doesn't vibe with my brain. You know, I'm fighting him and I'm like, what the fuck is it doing? What the fuck is it going to do? This is so confusing. I know half of its moves, but like, I don't know what to do with it. I'm also used to attacking monster heads a lot, and his head is quite hard to hit a lot of times. I'm gonna put it on B, because it's a cool monster. I really like him, it's just I hate to fight him. So maybe B, maybe even below Izuchi and Bisaten. I'm not even kidding. I don't like him. Magnamalo, however, much harder fight, much more challenging. Still annoying. But I like the new take on the monster. I like the new ultimate. I think this is a badass monster. Pretty cool. It deserves an S. It's a good monster. I don't fight it as much. It has amazing weapons, by the way. I just don't love him as much, you know? I'm gonna give him an S nonetheless, because he deserves it. Now moving on, we have Zinogre. So Zinogre has one of the best soundtracks in the game, hands down. It's a beautiful monster, very good design, good colors, everything is nice about it. But same as Almudron, I really can't vibe with it too much. When I'm fighting it, I don't really understand what it's trying to do or whatever. I've been fighting him for like, since Most Hunter 4 Ultimate, I think. It's not that it's hard, it's just that it's like a big meatball. Its legs are so close together and it does these like hip checks and everything. It's just, the way it moves is just... I don't vibe with it too much. I think it's a wonderful monster, and I think it's a very well made, but if you give me the chance to not fight a monster that stuns me all the time, and that has such erratic playstyle, and these hand smacks on the ground that just... He does that like 4 times, 5 times or whatever. Like low rank, he does it too. When it's mad, in high rank, like there's so many things you have to consider with Zinogre. It's a cool monster, I just don't really love the fight. He definitely deserves an A though. And the Apex version, of course, deserves an A, and I think goes on top of the list. It is quite a cool monster, very interesting, very nice. Now Steve, Seregios is one of the best fights I've ever had in this series. He's amazing, and he's even better with Rise, with Sunbreak. I didn't expect him to be this cool in this game. I fought him back in 4 Ultimate, and I liked the introduction to its Apex form too, when it came in and ate the normal Seregios and they were just having a little cannibalism thing there. It's a cool monster. It makes amazing sounds. It has good music. I really love him. He's crazy. S+ from me. I really like this fight. I could fight Seregios forever. If you told me to fight 1,000 of them tomorrow, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't get bored. Same with Astalos. Astalos is also an S+. Fantastic monster. Very cool animations, sounds, music. Everything about this monster feels like a threat. It is aggressive, it is erratic, it is crazy. And it seems like it's just... That's how it works. It's not like it hates you or something. It's just a crazy monster, like absolutely crazy. All over the place. I like the colors, I like everything about Astalos. And again, I would fight him as many times as I would need for like a weapon or whatever. I would play this monster solo for thousands of hours. I wouldn't mind. I really like this fight. Now Espinas. Espinas is interesting. I thought he would be... My first fight with Espinas was online actually, so we kind of beat him quite fast. I didn't really see his mechanics and everything, so I wasn't sure if I would like him or not. Nonetheless, I did like him, and I think he's very cool. He had some unexpected, like unpredictable moves, like the one where it digs with its head backwards and then goes once, twice, and then it smacks you with its tail. I never expected the tail there, and to this day when I fight him, I kind of am not expecting the tail. And I like to be surprised pleasantly like this. Especially the fact that he's sleeping when you start fighting him and he's still asleep. That only is just... I love it. I love him. Very cool. I'm giving him an S. And above Almudron. Now Magnamalo. Magnamalo is... I don't know what that accent was, by the way. Magnamalo is a very nice monster. I think it's very interesting. The Shogun type of like demeanor, you know, and all this... It just looks cool. You know, it's a badass monster. I think it looks very cool. Definitely worth it for a flagship. Very interesting. He got boring after I fought him quite a lot of times, but it's still very good. With Master Rank, nothing much changed except for a double beam, which was the best addition in my opinion, because when you're used to wire falling after one beam, then if you do it now, you're gonna get carted, which adds an extra fun surprise you can see in there. Magnamalo is a cool monster, very nice. I think it deserves an S. And I think I'm gonna give him one, because it's a cool monster. It's pretty nice. Everybody liked fighting him, like the first couple times, definitely. He was very interesting, and he still is. Now, Scored Magnamalo. Look at this. Scored Magnamalo is having his own category. When I fought this crazy bastard of a monster, I was ecstatic. Like, this fight was intense. Scored Magnamalo does not breathe. It doesn't let you breathe. It is crazy psychopath. it keeps attacking. Like, his attacks is one after the other. They're so much different than the regular Magnamalo, which I didn't expect. Like, it has maybe half of its moves are different, like completely different. Huge area of effects. Badass, he has like, what, 3 ultimates? He throws the beam, then he has this AoE beam that just slides and destroys everything. Then he has this little punch the ground thing that he throws with the shockwaves. He can do it twice even. What can I say? This monster is insane. All the PvE games that I've played, I've never fought something like this. Not in Elden Ring, not in Monster Hunter, not in, I don't know, The Witcher or whatever. Give me any game, I've never fought a boss like this. Phenomenal. Fantastic. I have no words. This is a category on its own. It was the best fight I've ever had in my life in games like this. So I'm gonna leave him there. And he deserves to be there. Now, Basil. Basil Geese is okay. You know, I thought he was interesting in World, but me and my friend were discussing about how when he throws the eggs, now they're in fixed locations, whereas in World they were more random, kind of. Like he was doing a move and then eggs would pop out and fall on the ground and stick there and explode. Now they're more, you can telegraph them, because you know where they're gonna be, kind of. I don't really know how to explain, but that's how it feels to me. And although he's a cool monster and he has one of the best soundtracks in the whole game, with the violin and everything, I'm gonna give him an A, just for the design. The design and the fight and everything, he's interesting, but we fought him a lot in World, and because I heard his soundtrack so many times, because he was ambushing me so much in that game, I just got a little tired of him, you know? Same with Sitting Basil. Sitting Basil in this game is barely any better than regular Basil, you know? He's more interesting, definitely, but what the hell is wrong with his HP, though? His HP in Master Rank is ridiculous. I know it's like a Master Rank quest, but 20-25 minutes, my first run with this guy? His HP is just too much, and the fight drags and it becomes boring, you know? I don't think this monster had to have this much HP as an introductory to Title Update 1. I don't really love him. He's gonna stay in A, and that's like, yeah, that's just what I think. So Nargacuga. Nargacuga is a very fun monster, and for a lot of players, I know it was how players learned how to use the iframes in their roll animation, because Nargacuga's moves are just so fast. It's very little frames, you know. It stands back, then it jumps and attacks you, and that happens within half a second, so you can roll through it. And a lot of people used to use this monster for a dummy when it comes to dodging stuff, because, you know, in the previous games we didn't have wire bugs, we didn't have a lot of iframes and a lot of counters with the weapons, and the only way to actually go through a move would be rolling through it. And Nargacuga was a very good punching bag for that. Cool design, cool monster, pretty nice. I'm gonna give it an A, and I'm gonna put it above Basil, because just fuck Basil, I'm sorry. As for Lucien Nargacuga, I had never fought this before. Just because it has a new locale in the new Forlorn map, it is invisible. It just fits Nargacuga's theme so good. This design is amazing. The fight was so fun. This is an S+ too. I really think this Nargacuga is like amazing. Amazing. Very cool fight. Moving on to Rajang. So Rajang has always been one of my favorite monsters in the series. It's like a Goku monkey, you know? Pretty cool. I'm gonna give him an A in this game, however, because it just felt a little underwhelming. I never expected Rajang to be this. He was nothing, you know? I fought him many times, of course, in the past, but he felt a little more challenging. I think he needs to hit harder than what he hits now. He doesn't deal a lot of damage. And his beam, same thing. When I'm playing the longsword and I counter one particle of its beam, the rest I can just walk through. I don't like that. I want its beam to be, I don't know, 100 frames of destruction. I don't want to be able to walk through that, you know? I want it to be more challenging, because I really love the monster. And as for Furious, same exact thing, but I'm gonna give him an S, because he's still a cool monster, still very strong, very interesting. But they did him dirty, to be fair. He was in Monster Hunter World, where we had a little less mobility. Rajang was insane. insane. It took me 2 weeks to fight the Furious Rajang event quest. Yeah, I think they could do something better with him, because he's supposed to be very mobile, and I know we're mobile too with the wire bugs and stuff now, so that's why it's a little easier, and the wire falls and all that. But I really wish they add some new moves to him, or we see an afflicted version of Rajang. That would be pretty fun. Now Rathian. Rathian is going on B, on the last place. She's the easiest monster to fight. Her stun values are ridiculous. You can just stun her, stun lock her, paralyze lock her. It's a punching bag, you know? Her head is right here, has a huge ass head. She does this backflip, then she lands on the same position. She flies on the air, slowly descending, and you attack her head. It's a fun monster to fight, because it's just punching bags. It's even worse than these four here, these three. She's even worse, just because her head is that exposed, and because when she gets stunned or toppled over, sorry, she's right there next to you, so you can continue your combo. At least with Kuluyaku and Buggy and them, you throw them back, like you deal damage and they get thrown back. You have to go chase them a little bit, you have to reposition. With Rathian, you don't even need to do that. You just attack her, you know? Apex Rathian, of course, is a little harder. I'm gonna give her an A, along with other Apex monsters here, but still nothing too crazy. As for Golden Rathian, however, this deserves an S. This monster is cool as heck, S+ even. Same with Silver Rathalos. I'm gonna take him now, just in case. These two monsters are very, very, very interesting, have always been. They have different weak spots than Rathian and Rathalos, the regular ones. Their heads are not as much of as a, oh my gosh, I can speak. They're not a weak spot anymore as much, until you actually break their heads, or they're like covered in this blue bright flame they have. I don't know what that state is named. But yeah, this fight is amazing. I think it's very cool. The arena that you fight them in is amazing. I really like fighting monsters in like arenas like this, like we used to fight Molten Tigrex in 4 Ultimate. Very, very cool. I could fight these monsters on hours to end, you know? Rathalos. Now Rathalos used to be boring in base Rise, but better than World. Monster Hunter World Rathalos was horrible. Main reason being that he was flying all the time. And I don't like using flashbang, you see, because if you throw a flashbang, Rathalos falls down, then he's blinded for a bit. And not only you cannot control his moves, because he just tries to hit you but doesn't know where you are, so it just has random moves or can trample over you. It's also handicapped, it's blind. And I don't like playing against a blind monster, even if it is for 20 seconds, I think it's boring. I never use flashbangs for that sole reason, just because I don't like to have the monster locked by something like this. However, in Rise, Rathalos was, he feels so good, and with Master Rank, when they added this little drive-by fire burning like village move, he felt like a dragon, like a proper dragon. He's like Charizard, you know, when he got his Mega Evolution. He was a little, at first he felt a little underwhelming, you know? He could be better, they could treat him better. And then he finally got his dragon, and it is what it is. Rathalos is amazing in Sunbreak, and I think I'm gonna give him an S even. Very cool monster. Very interesting to fight. This is for Master Rank, however, yes. S rank Rathalos is for Master Rank. If this was base Rise, I would place Rathalos maybe A or B, because he's not that interesting, but with Master Rank he has changed, and he looks so much cooler. And same with Apex Rathalos. Apex Rathalos is whatever, we haven't seen the new moves yet, he's just an Apex version of the other monsters. He's going above, maybe below Zinogre, but it's still whatever. Base Rathalos in Master Rank is better. Moving on to Gormagala. Very cool monster, of course, everybody was waiting for him to return in some future game. Some people have been complaining that the virus is not as like important to the story, but you know, we can't really have everything, can we? It wouldn't fit the story anyways, because we have Malzeno. Gormagala is a cool monster, the concept is nice, the fight is nice, pretty nice monster. I could fight him on our Zend as well, interesting, cool. He gets an S, and he goes above Rajang, maybe above Magnamalo. Now you know what, a Magnamalo can stay where he is at, because he has many moves that are actually quite cool, and he tries to catch you off guard. Gormagala doesn't. Gormagala just has 4 arms, he looks edgy as fuck, and he just tries to stomp over you, maybe throw some beams here and there. It's a nice monster, but nothing too crazy, you know? Sagaru, on the other hand, is an S+. He's interesting, much more interesting than his previous form, which is Gore. The fact that they added these beams is great. When it throws into the air to ascend and you have these purple bursts of energy from the floor is very, very cool. As a fight, he's not that hard, to be fair. I think it's quite easy, actually, because he has so many openings, like, you know, when he rises up and then smacks his hands down on the floor. This move has a huge channeling, huge animation, but the actual frames when it hits the ground are not that many, so you can dodge them with a counter attack. You can dodge them, maybe even roll through them, although it's very, very hard. I haven't tried it, so don't get my word for it. It's not a hard fight, but it's a glorious fight. It is very cool. I like fighting Sagi, and I'm gonna leave him on S+. Lunagaron. Now Lunagaron is one of the 3 new monsters we got, the 3 troublesome Halloween-themed monsters. This one is the werewolf, of course. Fantastic fight, what can I say? I used to play the longsword a lot, and Lunagaron hits. He doesn't hit as hard, but he hits very fast, so it gives me a lot of opportunities to counter, which I really, really like. Lunagaron was a very fun fight. I can fight him many times without getting bored. It's a cool monster, has like 3 forms, has a sort of beam. He runs around like Magnamalo, but it deals more damage, I think. I would love to see a variant of this, but even the base one is just beautiful. Very good monster, very well made. He's getting an S, and he's getting above everybody else. And then you have Garangolm, which is the Frankenstein type monster. He's very cool as well. I like its moveset, very, very cool. I like the stuns and everything, the punches. And he really, really, really hooked me with the punch the floor, explode, you know, jump and smack the hands down. It's just, this monster is crazy. And for its size, you'd expect it to be slower, but some of its moves are actually quite fast. It's nothing too crazy, just a brute guy with punches, you know, just punching you around, just a big gorilla guy. Still very, very fun. Definitely an S. Below Lunagaron, but still great. Now Malzeno. Malzeno gets an S+. S+ above Sagi. And the crab can be last, of course. Malzeno was one of the best fights I've ever had in this series. Like, it is just so cool. So cool. It is fast. It has beams. It has lots of like AoE moves, lots of targeted ones. Lots of moves you expect them to be like the one that it slams its tail. And if you dodge that, then it stabs you. And then it does it again. These types of monsters I love, because they don't really let you breathe as much. You have to be on the offensive all the time and try to dodge while simultaneously attacking it. And especially its forms are cool. When it grabs you and sucks your blood, it's very cool. When it gets unlocked and then he acts like some sort of Goku or Minato from Naruto, just instantly transmissioning from here, there, teleporting, just fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I never played him in the demo, so I hadn't seen this flash step before. And when I saw him in the main game in the Citadel, it was just amazing. And the music, this monster is just fantastic. Brilliant design, fantastic monster. Moving on to Chameleos. So Chameleos, for me, is an S. I just like him that much. Chameleos is a weird monster, you know? I like monsters standing invisible. I like the fact that he's huge and he moves quite slowly. I like the fact that he just sits there and randomly licks you. It's a stupid monster, but the stupidity that I kind of like, you know? I like this monster a lot. And I would fight him on Hour's End as well. My friend hates him. Of all the Elder Dragons that I've just shown, he hates Chameleos. Like, he likes fighting Teostra, he likes fighting Kushala, he likes fighting Valstrax, but Chameleos, if he could, he would delete him from the game, I think. That's why I wanted to put my take on these rankings, because everybody feels different about different monsters. So Chameleos is an S for me, because he's fun. Kushala is also an S, because and she's even higher than most of the things here. Kushala has always been quite cool, and she got even cooler with Sunbreak, and even cooler with Master Rank. All of the moves, they feel... The fight feels alive, you know? You're fighting a natural disaster. Kusala really pushes the boundaries when it comes to controlling the area around here, you know, with the whirlwinds and tornadoes and stuff. Tries to hide behind the tornadoes and throw you beams. Tries to snipe you from the air once it hits you once, just to make sure you card. This fight is very cool. Nice music too, to top it all off. Very cool monster. Like, it's just what it is for me. It's an S. Teostra, however, is an A. Is the top one on the A's though. But I really hate her on Sunbreak. I don't know why. No, actually I know why. Remember how I said monsters that trample you I hate? Well, cause Teostra does that a lot. Like, she just runs, steps on you, and you get thrown off. She does it again, and again, and again, and again. And it just pisses me off. I don't want to fight her. Him, I'm sorry. I don't want to fight him, ever. I hate him. Cool monster, yes. Good music, yes. Good design, yes. Do I want to fight him? No. I don't. Moving on. Valstrax. Valstrax is cool as hell. I've gotten a little bored of him because I made this guide video thingy where I wanted to like try to break down all of its moves, you know, for people who were struggling against him, including myself, by the way, in the beginning of Monster Hunter Rise. When he got introduced, he hit very hard, and I really struggled against him. He's a pretty cool monster. Very good design, good music. Screeches like it does is just very cool. I like fighting him. I got a little sick of him now because I fought him so many times, but still a pretty good fight all in all. I'm gonna place him below these two just because I got very excited when he first came out, but then eventually I fought him many times and I'm not as excited anymore. And these ones make me still have there's still some excitement for me when I'm fighting these two because they're quite new, so they're staying where they are. Ibushi. Now, Ibushi is just a big ass boss, right? It's just a meat shield. It's just a big meat. The design is cool. The story with Ibushi and Arwa is very cool, of course. I liked it. I like sieges. I don't really like playing online, except for things like this. I like to help other hunters, you know, get over challenges they can't face or whatever. I like fighting, let's say, a Golden Rathian with other people, but I wouldn't fight a Nagakuga with other people, you know? I would like to fight it solo, because it's just a small monster, like a basic one, that is quite fast too. But like with other people, it feels like you're just hunting it for sport. But when you're fighting it 1v1, it just feels like a challenge, like a threat. Ibushi is a mid-shield, like I said. It's pretty interesting. I like the design. I like the wind. I really like the wind. I'm gonna have him on B, I think, above everything else, just because it's a big boss monster and it's quite fun. And Narwa is gonna go above him, below him, because I just love wind. I love this blue type of throwing wind type of play style of the monster, you know, like the moves and everything. When it throws some tornadoes at you and then you start spinning around in the air, that looks so cool. Very nice. And they were both fine, not bad. For the first bosses that you fight in the game, like big bosses actually, they weren't horrible. And it all came to amends with All Mother Narwa. All Mother Narwa is an S. The soundtrack is amazing. The arena that you fight her in is amazing. The fact that another monster comes to try to fight her, because I don't know why, I don't remember, is cool. The fight itself can be very hard. And it's even harder in Master Rank. A lot of people still card to this day when they fight it. It's like the modern Alatran or something. Of course, it's like 100 times easier than Alatran. But even so, quite a nice fight, quite fun. Like, it's a very good monster, honestly. Very well made. I really like All Mother Narwa. And the whole way it's being introduced and everything when you first fight Ibushi and all that. Beautiful. Very nice. And, of course, last one, spoiler alert, we have Geismagorm. Geismagorm was the final part of the big bosses we had in the story. He's gonna get an S, and I will even place him below All Mother Narwa, because it was a siege, you know. It was an interesting fight. It was a new monster and everything, but it wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything special, you know. It was a new monster. Yes, it did all these nice beams. It was edgy, you know, screaming around. It felt like Xenosiva, but not like Safijiva, if you know what I mean. Safijiva was cool as fuck. It was very interesting. We got that with Iceborne, if I remember correctly. But Safijiva was the end of world. So for Gazmagron to be the last monster of the expansion, the last big monster of like Sunbreak, is quite underwhelming, just a little bit. If I remember correctly, with Iceborne we had Safijiva, correct? Safijiva is cooler than him, but we have All Mother Narwa, which is quite similar to Safijiva, so I'm happy, you know, I'm not disappointed. As long as I get something like Fatalis at the end of this game, like in a year or two from now, as the last title update, as long as I see something like a white Fatalis, I'm gonna think that Sunbreak has done a great job, you know, thus far. If this is the last monster I get to fight as a siege, that'll be very boring, you know, because I like sieges, I like big monsters, I like big monsters that require require 4 hunters, that require 4 hunters. Not that it's optimal, that it's like much cooler if there's 4 people running around this big monster trying to beat it, you know, trying to find ways to penetrate its armor or something, like Gogmazios or Yamatsukami or even what's his name, Zora Magdaros and stuff. I like these things. And yeah, with that, 50 minutes later we got to the end of the list. I said I wanted to keep things short. I couldn't, because I talk a lot, as you might have noticed. I got a little tired as well, because I talk very, very fast. It's just who I am. This is my final like setup for all the monsters here. Basically, we can ignore the fact that I've maybe not moved them accordingly within their bracket, but the bracket stands strong. I don't think I will move anything below or above the state I have them right now. So first we have Scorned Magnamalo, of course. S plus is Astalos, Sir Steve, Nagakuga, whatever. I won't have to go through all of them again. But yes, this was my view on the monsters. Just make sure to, if you know somebody at Capcom, please let them know to never put these 2 little bastards in the game ever again. I will be very, very happy. I will pay you. I will pay you. Trust me. As for the rest, all in all, no problem. Good game, quite fun. We will see Flaming Espinas quite soon, in like the end of the month, and maybe some other monsters as well. So this tier list is gonna die quite fast. Well, I need to add some more things. So I'm going to save this for now. Yes. And we can add the new monsters in due time, like maybe a year from now. Anyways, this has been a long 50 minutes and I'm quite tired. Thank you all for watching, of course. Let me know what you think about my tier list down in the comments. Maybe some monsters I love you hate, some monsters I hate you love. I don't know, where would you love Volvidon or Blagombi? You're crazy. But yeah, that's it. That was a simple video for this week. Thank you for watching again, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.